Hello there, welcome to The Damned. Today we're going to be talking about the Exorcist movies. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4.5. Okay, we'll start with the first one, obviously. And the first one's the only Exorcist movie that actually has, respect, good reviews, been re-released, blah blah blah. It's one of those films that's viewed as a classic. And I can respect the movie, but I don't love it. The main problem for me is I don't believe in demons, demonic possession, a lot of religious elements, so it's not a scary movie for me because I don't believe in any of the stuff it talks about. I can find it interesting as fiction, which I do, but and it helps develop in interesting ways, but I don't actually get scared by anything. I don't believe in the Antichrist. I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in any of that stuff, so it's hard for me to actually get scared by thoughts of demons possessing people. I just think it's mental illness, really. So there's no irrational side of my brain that goes, oh, that could be possible or anything. There's just nothing there that makes me think this is possible. But on the other hand, it is a good fiction, and the first film really delivers on that. I mean, it's a very simple film. A girl gets possessed. It takes the first half of the movie for them to understand she's actually possessed and hasn't got an illness. The second half of the movie, her mother brings in a priest to him, brings in another priest to exorcise a demon. It's very simple, very simplistic actually. I mean, there's no depth beyond the simple story tenets, which are really well done, because William Friedkin, who directed it, is a very documentarian style. He's pretty much, he shows what's there and lets you interpret things for yourself, which is the big saving grace of the film. I mean, basically, he keeps it to the characters' points of view at all times. So you're in with the characters, you're not in with the mythos or anything. You're actually in with what the characters are saying at every opportunity. When something happens that would make you think that's a bit dodgy, the characters think it's a bit dodgy, and he builds it up that way. So he builds up the horror by suggestion, by people reacting with something close to reality, realistic acting style, shots that aren't over the top. I mean, the effects are very subdued compared to most effects now. Everything is done for realism. That's really what works with the film, is the direction. The direction is the thing that sells this film. If a different director made this film, it would have been a disaster, because you can see how it could go wrong so easily. And they just got the right director, the right sensibility to deliver in this film and what it needed. And I'm a big freaking fan actually. I like a lot of his films. This is one of my least favourite of his really good films, because the subject matter doesn't really interest me that much, but it's so well directed. To me, it's really well directed. I mean, he keeps cutting for tension, so the scenes go at a certain point, they cut fast to the next scene, you feel there's some violence when it cuts, and that progresses and progresses, so that when we get to the actual scenes of the priest arriving to the exorcism, the camera basically then it's slowed down slightly and just kicking every so often, but it's paced so well with the cuts that the cuts actually mean something. And and he knows exactly what he's doing. It's one of the great things of the film is it's so well edited. The problem is they did a writer's cut later, years later, and it wasn't half as good because it added scenes that took away from that progression, that simple basic boom boom boom, using cinematic elements like editing and composition to actually deliver the story. And the where it's cut, there's a lot more, there's some added scenes that just slow everything down and explain stuff that's implied, and it doesn't have the same power that the film has in the original version. So it's one of those films that the theatrical version is so much better than the extended version. And the acting's really good in this film as well. I mean, basically Ellen Burstyn is the lead, and she's the mother of the possessed child, and she's terrific. She really is realistic everything's normal. She can be glamorous, she can be downtrodden depending what the scene is. She's not perfect. It works great because it's a realistic person and you can follow the story through her. You can also follow the story through the main priest, which is Father Karras, played by Jason Miller. He's really terrific in this film. It's amazing he never went on to do much beyond this because he's very empathetic, but there's still sort of there's a kindness to him, but there's also a world where he knows the reality of what's going on around him, but there's still kindness that jumps through beyond that. So, and there's intelligence to him that really delivers so that you know that that the demon's up against someone who's capable even though he's flawed. So those are the two main characters. In fact, they both are flawed, but focused on helping as a girl really makes it work. I mean, the other performance is Linda Blair as Regan, and she's good as Regan. It's one of those things you don't really know how much was her after she becomes the demon, because there's stunt doubles, there's makeup, there's directing to do this, do that, do the next thing. So I mean, she's fine as a little girl. When she becomes a demon, you're never quite sure much manipulation going on because Friedkin's very good at focusing his act on certain things. And she's been terrible at everything else, so you're never quite sure how good it is, or if it's just a fluke, this is the one good performance. But she's really good in this film, and it really works. And if she didn't work, the film wouldn't work. So she's well cast here. I mean, Max von Sydow's Father Merrin, he's good, but Max von Sydow's always technically good. I don't get the feeling from him in this film that it's a great passion of his, this kind of subject matter. He does a good job, he delivers a character. And he does what he needs to do, and the part might be a bit more distance from the action than anyone else. So it works, the film, but it's not a great passionate performance or anything. He's much better than Bergman films where he's going to get stuff to work on that probably interests him a lot more than this film would. But it's still a good performance. I mean, the whole film is really good, but there's just not that much to it. I mean, it's basically explains what it is, it does what it is, and I couldn't say much more about it because everything's on the surface. The whole film's on the surface. There's nothing below the surface. I mean, if you believe in demonic possession or the Catholic elements there, it probably is terrifying for you. But if you don't, you just notice it's a very simple story. Now, it's a very simple story, well told, but there's not much subtext to anything. Everything that's implied is implied to a degree that you can always see it. So there's no real subtext to anything that's going on beyond what you get in the story. So it's hard to say much more about it because the actual idea is a simplistic idea about priest serving God, fighting a demon who possesses a little girl. It sounds ridiculous, it's well made, but it's not really that interesting a metaphor. I mean, the only thing you can really see is it may be a metaphor for how people are just like the idea of the child, the next generation coming on and replacing them. But even that's not really in the film, that's just something you could add and look at and say, well, that could be interpretation. I don't think it really is. I think it's just something that's a potential thing it could be implied, but I don't think it's actually in the film. It's just something that's been brought up since then, but I think people read into stuff that's well made, so this could be another subtext to it. I don't think it is, it's just, this is the central idea. The central idea is good, that gets people interested. It's well made, but there's nothing really there beyond that. It's just a well made horror film, a well made intense family drama. So we're going beyond The Exorcist now because the sequels, none of which are as effective as the first film, but quite a few of them are more interesting than the first film, except for one film we'll get to at the end. But they're all messy in some way, they've all been flawed in some way. This is a kind of weird idea, the sequels that follow on are very flawed, but they are interesting, so it's like there's a intriguing element to them that actually means I kind of like watching the sequels more than I would like watching the original, because the original was nicely done but it doesn't really speak to me that much. The sequels are mad, but they're mad in interesting ways.